Foursome time. That was a very low monotone foursome, wasn't it? The kind of reception that Friday Foursome 11 got, unfortunately. But never mind, I will put my Novabug smile on. Scary that, isn't it? And continue on. Friday Foursome 11, your four favourite, well, not favourite, is it? Your four game sequels. I still am having trouble. That combination of words, bit of a tongue twister. But anyway, 7 responses this time. A little bit of a low turnout. That's fine. I'm still happy with 7. I mean, I'll be happy with 1, to be honest. I suppose I might be getting a bit presumptuous, I think, because the Foursome generally gets a lot of good responses all the time. So I suppose when it has a little bit of a flat month, I get a little bit down, a little bit despondent about it. About it. I went all Canadian there, didn't I? Whew. What was all that about? This new T-shirt must have been from Canada. Anyway, but anyway, fantastic, and it's good to see regulars, especially one. And I thought I'd do a little bit something different this time for this sort of end of year Christmassy kind of foursome. Stats, a bit of information for you about the Friday Foursome. For instance, I mean, if you're not aware, if you're new to the channel and new to the Friday Foursome, the history of the foursome, how it was conceived and how it just appeared out of nowhere, it literally did that. I was sitting around earlier in the year, and I just thought of something which I wanted to involve the community. Sorry about using that word, but involve people, get more exposure to other people, and it's in their hands to do it. You know, it's to give them the opportunity, them the platform to showcase themselves via VR in this way. And we've seen some great comedy foursomes, we've some great information, backstories, interesting the way people perceive different games and the same games. It's all been great to watch, and I would like to hope that it's generated quite a few entertaining videos for yourselves, the viewing public. So the foursome's not going anywhere. It will continue on into 2016, and I've got nearly every question ready, all set up for 2016. But you know, I like to forward plan. I don't normally forward plan. Normally my forward planning is poor, poor as in shit. But this I'm very passionate about the foursome. So I am a passionate foursomer. But yeah, over the last year, since the foursome appeared, 65 different channels have made video responses and entered the Friday Foursome, which is phenomenal. I would have never thought 65 different people from far and wide, all over the world, have made responses to the Friday Foursome in its 11 episodes so far, which is it's mind-blowing, really. It's really good. I'm so happy with that, and I hope everyone that does do the foursome enjoys doing them. I don't want it to become a drag or a chore, or like something you feel you have to do. You don't have to do a foursome if you don't fancy the question. But I welcome every video response, and in any way or shape or form you can present yourself. It's always good, always good. Yes, 65 people is amazing, and out of them 65 people, got some notes here, 22 people have ended up in the final 4 or 5 or 3 or whatever it goes with that month. So yeah, 22 winners basically. A couple of people have won it twice. No one has won it 3 times. I'm sure that's going to change in the new year. But it's great to see a new winner. I always like to see when people get lots of votes to have a new winner. That's always good for me. And this is something that I've got to address. Like I said this a couple of foursomes ago. The voting turnout this month was bad, and I'm not being presumptuous there. It was bad, and I don't know why. I mean, I put it out there like I normally do, and it just didn't. I don't think this one grasped a lot of people's imagination. Maybe they were too busy playing fucking Fallout 4. Maybe Christmas is getting in the way and people were busy, and you know, it doesn't really matter. But the voting turnout was pretty lackluster, and as a result, there is no really clear-cut top 3, top 4 this time round. So I thought what I'll do is feature one tuber, and that one tuber has been amazing with the foursome. He is the most supportive of the foursome. He has done 11 video responses to every episode. Every episode this man has entered, and it's just, I'm so appreciative of you, mate. I know we are friends, so it's, but I didn't think that he would go to the trouble of doing this, which he has. So I'm gonna feature him now because he did get the most votes anyway, and he's never won it before. So this time, this foursome, John Joseph's just 76 gaming. It's your floor, mate. Your floor, and here is his 4 fourth game sequels.
GL76 Gaming here, and it's that time again. It's time for Friday Foursome, number 11, I think. Yes, the ever-present is back again. I've replied to every single Friday Foursome that Novabug has put out there. So go and check it out if you've not checked it out before. It's a brilliant idea. If you want to go and do a video response, then go and do it. And the link's below to the original video. And thanks Chris again for another great question. This is inspired by Fallout 4. It's nothing to do with Fallout itself, it's just to do with the fact that there's so many game series out there that have got multiple entries in them. And Fallout 4 inspired Chris to come up with a question: what's your favourite 4th game of a game series? Something like that anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you mine right now, but I have to be honest, these are going to be fairly obvious to anybody that watches this channel, anybody that knows me. But what can you do? I'm a predictable kind of guy, so it might as well start with the most obvious one of the obvious ones, and that is Gran Turismo 4. My favourite Gran Turismo game in the whole series. Incidentally, although this question's not necessarily about picking your favourites, it's just about picking games you've played that are the 4th, but as coincidence would have it, this is actually my favourite game in the Gran Turismo series, and it was the last one to ever come out for the PS2, and it was just awesome. It had more cars and tracks in it than ever before. I'm a great lover of Gran Turismo. It's my favourite game series, although admittedly the 5th and 6th ones weren't the best, but I still love them. Put a lot of time into all of them really. I've got all the Gran Turismo series in the series, including the prologues and things like that. And I do believe there is a new one coming out for the PS4, which is kind of like a prologue. What was it called again? Gran Turismo Sport or something, I can't even remember, but there is one heading out for the PS4 shortly, so I will no doubt pick that one up. But Gran Turismo 4, brilliant entry in the series, had so many courses to choose from. It had my favourite track, the Hong Kong course, which for some reason decided to leave out in subsequent versions. The only other time it ever appeared was in the motorbike version of Gran Turismo, Tourist Trophy, I believe it was called. Brilliant course. I don't know why, I just really enjoyed it. I just really enjoyed driving around the streets of Hong Kong for some reason. But High Speed Run made its return. High Speed Run for some reason was left out of Gran Turismo 3, and I don't really know why. And all your old favourites are there, such as Trial Mountain, Deep Forest, and such like. It's got a brilliant soundtrack, songs from the likes of some of my favourite bands such as the Hives and Queens of the Stone Age. I can't remember, no you couldn't, I was going to say you could put your own music in it, but you couldn't at all. That was Gran Turismo 5, which was a brilliant feature, putting your own music in the game. I think this was the first one as well that had a photo mode. Not that I particularly used that mode very much, but it was a nice little touch. And you could customise the soundtrack so you could take out, it had the kind of jukebox, so you could take out the ones that you didn't want to play and keep the ones in that you did want to play. Had a brilliant intro to it with the, I can't remember the name of the song. It's a kind of operatic song that turned into a rock song. It was really awesome. And this is the one where I discovered there's an easy money. You can make so much money in an hour by just racing the same rally race over and over again, selling a car and making lots of money. So that was a good little money maker. But yeah, enough about Gran Turismo 4 because I'm banging on too much about it. The next one will be no surprise whatsoever as well, and that is of course Grand Theft Auto 4. Now I could have cheated here because technically this is not the fourth game in the series. It's just titled number 4. If I really could have said what to have, you had the first Gran Turismo, then you had Gran Turismo London, then you had Gran Turismo 2. So I could have said Gran Turismo 3 was 4, or I could have fixed it in some sort of way so I could have picked Vice City. But anyway, yeah, because if I'd taken London out of the equation, then the fourth one could have been Vice City. But never mind, it is what it is, and I'm picking the actual Gran Turismo. I'm obsessed with Gran Turismo. Grand Theft Auto 4, which is brilliant. You know, a lot of people say it's not the best in the series, but I put so much time into this game. I completed it. There's not many games that I complete. I always complete the Grand Theft Auto games for some reason, just because I love them so much. I think the only one I didn't complete was Vice City, and I was on the second last mission. Then my memory card packed in, so I really need to go back and complete that one. But yeah, I completed all of them, and this one's no exception. No exception, and I just like the way you had in this game you had little choices, so you could change the course of the game depending on what decisions you made, and there's just so many nice touches, like, you know, getting random phone calls from your friends, and or Roman, your cousin, and going out to play bowls or get pissed. It's still a brilliant open world experience, and it was complemented by the legend, the Lost, the Lost and Damned DLC, as well as the Ballad of Gay Tony, which I completed both of them as well, and they were brilliant. I think my favourite out of the kind of free stories, if you like, is the Lost and Damned, because I can relate to that a bit more, like kind of bikers and stuff. Not that I'm a biker, but if I could drive a bike, I probably would be, because I went to that kind of scene, rock music and stuff. So yeah, that was Grand Theft Auto 4, another obvious one. Next one, and surprise, surprise, it is going to be another racing game, because although it was easy to pick those first two games, I was struggling to pick any other games. So I have to go for an Xbox racer this time, Xbox 360, and it is from the Forza series, and it is Forza 4. I'd have loved to have picked Forza Horizon, because that's the best Forza game, but alas, that is not the fourth in the series, so I have to pick Forza 4, which is brilliant. Absolutely wonderful graphics, brilliant tracks, great car handling. The noise from the engines is really realistic as well, and definitely at the time that came out, Gran Turismo was starting to kind of lose its grip in the number one racing game, arguably. So Forza 4, the Forza series is probably the first series that made me think there's more out there outside Gran Turismo. Not a lot of games, racing games have came close to Gran Turismo, but this one definitely did, in my opinion. Although I don't think it's the best in the series, again, it certainly was a brilliant game. I think my favourite in the series was actually 2 on the, I was going to say the original Xbox, but it wasn't, it was on the Xbox 360 as well. So yeah, Forza 4, surprise, surprise. The next one is not got a 4 in the title, but it is from a game series that people will not be surprised that I picked it from. And it certainly is not the best game in the series once again, but it is Escape from Monkey Island, and it is on the PS2. I think it only came out for the PS2, I could be wrong there. It may have come out for PC, I'm not too sure. I think it was on the PS2. Anyway, Escape from Monkey Island, Guybrush Threepwood's fourth outing in the Monkey Island series. Monkey Island 1 and 2 were just immense. Monkey Island 2 could possibly be my favourite game of all time. The next one was a custom Monkey Island, which came out for the PC. I think that was PC exclusive. I really should do some research before I do these things, but never mind. And then for some reason, the Monkey Island franchise moved to the PS2. I've not played this game for years. I've got it. I bought it a year or two back when I rebought my PS2. But I did have it for the PS2 back in the day originally, and I completed it, and it was fun. It just didn't really have the same feeling as the first Monkey Island games. I believe it was different developers. Again, I'm not doing research, but I don't think it was the same developers that did the first two games, so it didn't feel the same. The jokes weren't quite as good as the original games, again probably because of the developers, but it was a good game nonetheless, and I will go back and play it again at some point. I think I'm going to go through all the Monkey Island games in order and do long plays of them, no commentaries. I've already started with the first Monkey Island game. But yeah, Escape from Monkey Island is my fourth and final pick for the fourth game series fin.
So that's it for this year for the Friday Foursome. I've got another question for you, of course. Of course, got another question. There was John there with his fourth game sequels. I am not surprised by any of his choices. Gran Turismo 4, GTA 4. Yeah, I mean, they are the atypical fourth games, aren't they? Them kind of things. Forza 4. So, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. And of course, Monkey Island. So, it was like the Hall of Fame of JL76's favourite games there, all in the fourth versions. Anyway, the other thing I want to talk about is the people. Like John has done 11 video responses, but other people. I'm going to mention some other people as well. They've been so good with the Foursome and so loyal to the Foursome, and there are 4 other people typically that I want to mention with 7 videos. Joint should we say, is Electric Adventures and Infected Flinch. They've done 7 VRs to the Foursome. We've had Kit171, another great supporter of the Foursome, with 8. And just behind John is Gary, Acidonia 150, with 10 video responses to the Friday Foursome. So you guys, you blow my mind. You make me so happy that you embrace the Foursome so much, and you still enjoy making videos and making replies to the questions, even if sometimes the questions are a bit of a bender, a bit of a mind's fuck. But like I said, to all the 65 people that have made video responses, whether it be 1 video response or whether it be 11 like John has, I thank you all right down from here. I really do. Not from Mario, but from the thing, you know what I mean. Couple of other things, couple of other stats as well. The last Friday Foursome was a bit long. I realised that. I didn't want to get it that long. I did try and cut it down, but I could get it just over an hour, and I know that was too long. But the average video for a Friday Foursome is not that long. It's only 35 minutes. 35 minutes and 42 seconds, to be absolutely precise. And so it's not too bad. I kind of like to try and make it a half an hour, 40-minute show. That's the area that I'm going for, so I don't want to draw it out. I don't want people to get bored and switch off. But on the other hand, I'd want to get information to you, and I like to have the people give people their spotlight. And that's the whole thing about the Friday Foursome, is to give people their moment to tell their stories about what the question is. And that sentence went nowhere, but you know exactly what I mean. If you've been watching Bug a lot, you realise that my verbal stutter really does screw me up sometimes. But hey, I live with it. I don't care. That's the way I talk. But I try and get it out like that. Anyway, and finally, I've got this other stat here. What have I written down? Oh yeah, the most popular Friday Foursome. And again, this was accredited not to me. So it was the question. It was the second Friday Foursome, Friday Foursome 2, most cherished games. And that question, as I mentioned back then, is attributed to Smooth MJ, because he came up with that question. So that's kind of cool. The most popular one is not a question that came from my dark mind. It came from someone else's dark mind. So again, I thank you again for that, Malk. It was top of you to come up with that superb Super Mario superb question. So the question this year, the final question, the final foursome of this year, will be Christmas related gifts. Your 4 best childhood gifts. And these can be retro related. They don't have to be video game related. They can be retro related toys, games, board games, that kind of thing. And you have to have received them before you reached adulthood. So up to the point when you were finishing being a teenager, 19 years old, let's say, for argument's sake. So yeah, 4 favourites, or your best, 4 best childhood toys, or gifts, more accurately. I said toys again. Gifts. Gifts and whatever they are, retro related. Excuse me. So quickly, just bosh mine out quickly. The first two are pretty much obvious because I've mentioned them before in videos. In the Christmas of 1990, I hankered after a GX4000. My father got me a GX4000, and the rest, they say, is history. That's all I'm going to say on that. I have talked about the GX4000 so much, and I will continue to probably in the future, but I don't want to make a big deal out of it right here. The second one was in Christmas 1992, when we spent Christmas at my auntie's house in Lincolnshire, and my dad took trouble to go out and get, I think he went into town to get it. He went to Tottenham Court Road actually to buy it, and he bought brand new Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo at top whack price of £65, because that's what it was when it came out. Came out on the 17th of December 92, and he got me it, and we were blown away. Christmas Day was a blur of Ryu and Ken and Dalsim, and it was, yeah, amazing morning, amazing Christmas morning that was, playing Street Fighter 2 at home. It was the first time I ever did play Street Fighter 2 at home, or on a home console. So it's definitely up there with one of my favourites. Next two are toys, and they're the kind of toys that you would expect me to be interested in when I was a kid. And they were both remote control vehicles, and for the time they were really, really expensive. So the first one, we've got to go way back to 1986, and this was a radio controlled Porsche 911 Targa, and if I found a picture of it, I'll put a picture up of it now. And that was, I saw that in a toy shop. I remember seeing this in a toy shop. I think it was in Boston or Curtin in Lincolnshire. And I just absolutely adored it. I thought, I want that. The gold lines on it, remote control. It was so sleek and brand. The smell of it, it smelt so good. It was that sort of plasticky electrical smell, which for some reason I find really, really stimulating. And I loved it. It was about that big. The control system was really tight, and I loved it. I adored it. It took me ages to work out how to bloody drive it at that age. I mean, I was on 8 years old at the time, and we took it with us when we moved. When we were living in Lincolnshire, we moved back into London, and we had a newsagent shop floor that I remember when my father used to close up for the evening. We'd take the Porsche down, drive it around the shop floor, and it was, I vividly remember their memories of doing that. It was so fast as well. I remember it being extremely quick. These rubber tyres, really small rubber tyres, you could turn it skid, you could perform J-turns with it if you practice enough. It was fantastic. I never know what happened to it, to be honest. I know that the remote broke at one point. I remember, I think, in my early teens trying to fix it in a very slapdash bosh way kind of way. I never know what happened to it after that. It's a shame. I wish I still had it. And finally, one of the gifts I got, which was in this very establishment. I think it might have been one of the early years when my parents moved into this place. And it was a surprise because we didn't see this coming either. We'd seen it in the shop, and it was fucking enormous. It was massive. I thought they've never. I mean, I think 80 quid or something like that when it retailed. It's huge, and it was a digger. Well, I forget what they call them. The ones on the big tyres. But it was one of them massive, great bulldozer type bucket cat diggers. It was huge. The detail on it was amazing. And it was a wired remote control. It wasn't radio controlled. It was wired. But the control interface was it was literally like a cockpit. It was a great big thing, about that big, with these toggles, like a throttle control on it. And it worked like a tank. So you had to push the two sticks forward to make the whole thing go forward. If you switch the sticks like that, it does the tank thing where the offside wheels go one way and the near side wheels go the other way. So it turned like that. You could action all the movement of the bucket, and the best thing about it is that it let off exhaust fumes, which I thought was wicked at the time. I knew that locomotive model trains used to do that. We used to drip this oil in to a little place, and it would create puffs of smoke coming out of the exhaust stacks. It was amazing at the time. You look back on it now, and you probably think, not really, but me and my brother shared that, and Christmas morning when we got that, it was, this thing is huge, and this is yellow. That's probably where my love for the colour of yellow comes from. It was amazing. So anyway, you've got loads of time to do this, because I know Christmas is in the way, so we've got all the way to the end of January before Friday Foursome returns. This is Friday Foursome 12, so it will be Friday Foursome 13, which will be coming at you in the new year in 2016. But until then, we have this question, and please send me all your VRs and do them whenever you want. Vote is open. Please, again, I can't stipulate this enough. Go to my Facebook page and vote the ones that I post. Please get them votes in. It's the only way I can determine winners, and it's the only way I can showcase other channels. If you get your votes in, put on your likes. Put the like in for the ones you like. Spread the word. Please do. It will help me out, and it will help you out. Because it's just a moral thing. It will help you out in your mind. You think, oh, I've helped someone out today. I've helped Bug out. And you'll feel great about yourself. Trust me, you will. So, your 4 best gifts. Don't have to be just Christmas gifts. They can be birthday gifts. It can just be any kind of gift. Get well gifts. You name it. Whatever you want. But your 4 best gifts. Retro gifts, if you will. Again, like I said, in your teenage years, your childhood. You know what I mean. It's Christmas. It's getting there. It's nearly Christmas anyway. Thank you very much for all your support over the year. I keep repeating that. You know I do. Have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year. And the Friday Foursome will be back in 2016. Well, I can't really say anything else. Thank you for everyone again to, just embracing the Foursome. Because a Foursome's not dirty. It's not dirty. Friday Foursome.